Well, it's not quite as good as a $10 deal, but it was still a deal. And today, I want to jump on board and try out this 374 cultivator. I bought several years ago when I bought several pieces from an old man who was getting out of farming, and they had Oliver and White stuff. And this is one of the things that practically got thrown in. I think I gave $75 for it, but anyway, we're gonna give this a go and see what happens. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and today I want to try something that I have never actually done before, and that is cultivate. When I was a kid, we cultivated, and basically it was kind of a thing of the past. It was starting to phase out. Grandpa bought a Campbell sprayer from the Big Blue farm store, and so he started spraying everything. And there was a rare occasion when he'd break out the cultivator and go back to it. And then when we went to 15-inch row beans, of course you couldn't cultivate because there was no room. So, like I said, this is a 374 cultivator. The easiest way to identify is it's got this, what do you call it, octagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, hexagonal 6-sided beam. And the older 364 had a square box beam or a square bar. So I would assume that this is, they went to this because that's supposed, a circle is usually a stronger shape, that's what I'm saying. So they probably thought this was the pinnacle, but it's kind of an odd shape. But anyway, this thing's been sitting for probably 40 years, I bet. Easy, maybe 30 at least. And so I checked everything. Everything seems to turn, and it's spaced right as far as it looks. We may get out there and it may not be, but we're gonna go give it a try and see what happens. Now I will warn you, my cornfield here at home does not look pretty. And I was really scratching my head as to why, like the end rows are crappy and along the road is crappy. In the middle of the field, it doesn't look too bad. And then I remembered we tried those 2 bags of that different variety that was supposed to be super spectacular, and it didn't hardly come up. And my good old faithful 1197 in the center of the field is not doing as bad. And then over at Dad's, the 1197 I did over there, I think every kernel came up. So I don't know. We'll go out there and play. If we knock some down, I don't think we could make it much worse than it is. So anyway, I'm getting attacked by some kind of flying creature here. I don't know what I've done. Your house is not on me. Good grief. Get away. All right, well, enough of that nonsense. I don't know what that thing had for me, but let's get going. come spray my beans, so it should be any day now. Same way with the corn. I decided, why should I do it when I can pay them to? And they will run down much less than I would, so that's what I'm gonna do. After this last rain, the grass really took off in them. Might be too wet to do this. Okay, it was way too wet, and that was almost embarrassing. So I probably won't show you the footage of this #1 attempt. But what I do need to do is take those shields off. I don't need them at this stage. The corn's tall enough, and I don't think they're spaced right anyway. And I'm questioning whether this particular unit is spaced right, because it seems like it wants to get into the row all the time. Might be that one, actually. I'm not sure. I have to do some more measuring and see what the guy's got going. I mean, it should kind of be science, because they should all be even, is what I'm saying. But I'm just wondering if this one isn't out too far, because I was having a hard time keeping this row without plowing through the corn, see? So anyway, we'll do some modifying here, and then we'll try it again on a nicer day when we can get through the field without the dirt wanting to ball up in places. So, but anyway, yeah, nothing fell off, so we got that going for us. Well, looking at this thing, the more I look at it, I think there's some things tweaked on it. I think that this is bent, and I'm trying to figure out where exactly, if it's bent in here and this needs to just tweak over a little bit. Something's just not quite right, and that could be contributing to my problem. But I also notice, you know, look at the space between here and here. Should that not be even? And if so, you know what? So common sense would say that if we went from there to there to the center of this one. Yeah, see, something ain't working out right here on the mathematical part of this, because I'm supposed to be on 38-inch rows, and I got it dandy over here where 38 inches was going between them. But I'm thinking that this needs to go in, and I'm betting they moved it out because it's tweaked and it was hitting the drawbar. That's what I'm wondering if they did. Because if I put 38 in there, I don't know. That half is working great. This half is not working good so much. Silly me assuming that it was put together correctly. I'm not happy with most anything on it. So I'm going to start over from the center. The bar is pretty well centered. I can't remember, I think one way was like 92 and a half and the other way was 92 and 7/8. So that's close enough. I'm not going to slide the whole bar over, but I'm going to even out these clamps so they're the same distance from the center, and then just work along and see if each row is correct. And then if stuff is bent, we'll have to figure that out too along the way somehow. But yeah, I guess silly me, it's, you know, 40 years old or whatever, so it obviously has probably shifted along life's way. So put you here. Let's hope that this stuff comes loose. So far, we've been doing pretty good. That should be loose enough to move. And what did I say? I set my tape measure down again and lost it promptly. This needs to go out. Oh, I should have. I don't know if I really want to do. Can we get this? It should be not under a whole lot of pressure with it down, but getting it to go even is going to be the Can I get this? Let's take the spring off. Oh, darn it. Okay. There. It's hard to believe that that 3-point arm spring is enough to keep her going there. Okay. We're going with 13. Geez, we got a lot to move out. I'm wondering if I should have moved the other one in. I bet they slid it in so that it hits the sway blocks. I don't know. We'll find out. Too much? Not enough? Oh, tape measure. You're really ticking me off here. There. I think that's more better. That will match the other side now. Now, did it stay? Just doing that. No, it moved over, which is what I figured would happen. Come on. Let's see here. That's where it needs to be, if it would stay. See what that did. That's what we want. Good. All right, now, in order for, I don't know what we want these set at. I wonder if the book actually tells you what to set them at. I bet it does. Right now we're at like 9 1/4 to that one, right? Let's go this way. Well, we can do it this from the center of that. 9 1/4. See, we aren't right if we're going by evenness. This one is at 8 1/4, which would lend to my theory. This side was working great, and this side was in the row. I'm thinking this side needs to go in 1 inch. And I'm wondering, I don't know. Because if we go by that, let's see what this side is from the 3-point clamp. This is like right at 16. You'll probably not like my way of measuring, but it works. What's this one? Ooh, it's right at 16. Okay, so the offender is this unit, or this, whatever you want to call it, gang, I don't know, cultivator technology. It needs to go in an inch. But then that doesn't explain why, what else must be bent, because these had like 10 inches of clearance between them. And this side had a lot more, but it wasn't right. This side's got 11 1/4 or 11. Huh. I think it needs to go in, and then this needs to be tweaked somehow. That's what it, kind of what it looks like to me. Like something has been bent. But man, I know when it's in the ground, you can't hardly keep it. At least I couldn't. I couldn't keep it from hitting the row. I got an idea for that though. But I think we got to raise it up to move that. Don't we? Maybe we can do it like this. But we're going yeah, we're going to go in almost an inch. Let's say that's 8 and... Now, if I do it this way, let's say it's basically 8 1/2. If I do it this way, it's 9 1/2. So it needs to go in an inch. And those are probably 1 1/8. I'm amazed at how many times I can lose the tape measure in the same adventure. Jeez. You need to go in an inch, basically. Let's see if this... Okay. Ooh. Maybe the only problem was clamped crooked on the bar, because that has a lot of play, or what I want to say. What are we measuring here? 7 3/4. 7 3/4 would be right about there. Oh, okay. 7 3/4. That's closer. Needs to go. Okay, 7 3/4. In a little more. There. Now, can I get it to stay there while I tighten it? I think I need to tighten the top one more than the bottom one. There. I think we got her now. I think that's all it was. 2 things out of adjustment. That pivoted this back down, it looks like. Still doesn't account for the side-to-side twist. Well, it could, I guess, if the whole shebang was... Don't know. Let's raise her up again and have a look-see. I'm almost wondering if they didn't have a planter unit that was set wrong, and so instead of dealing with it, they just moved the cultivator in a little bit to even it out. But how are we doing here? This is now 12, but it could be this here. Yeah, it is. That one is stuck through farther than that one. And I bet that's what they did. I bet they had issues. I bet they had issues with it hitting or not. Their planter wasn't set quite right. And so they jacked with this to try to get it to work right. But how much here? 10.5 or so between them. That's 10, I would call it. And that is 12. What's this one? Can I get to it easy? Jeez. That one is 13. Geez, so this should go. I mean, it should easily go. But just looking at stuff, I bet these are tweaked just a shade in places. But I think it'll work. I know on my other one, my 364, my uncle bought it new, I believe, and he welded these two together. He welded like a cross piece between them because there was some reason, I think maybe this, he said they were shifting. I don't know. But at any rate, I think we got a better chance now. We could always narrow some of these up, but as much trouble as we were having, I think we'll just leave them alone. See what happens next time. Yeah. I bet I could put the shields back on now and they'd work great. But if I go from the center to center, well, if I go from here to here, I should have 19 inches in the center of the row. Let me hold my hand here. That would be about right. That's the center of the row, 19 inches. And then 19 plus 38 would be what? 57 should be the center, and I believe that's right. So if we do it on this way, 19 from the center, be about right here. That looks about right. Then 57. 57. 57's about right here. Boy, I think we'll get it this time without hitting stuff. I thought I wasn't that bad. Good grief. That thing was way out of whack. But I think she'll do it now. There's plenty of gap there. That could actually even be narrowed up just a shade. But yeah, that looks a lot more better. Everything's spaced evenly. So we'll wait till it gets to be drier where we can actually accomplish something, and we'll try it again. I'm tempted to put those shields back on now just to see if that, you know, you don't really need them for that tall corn, but at least they wouldn't get lost if they were on here. That's kind of what I'm thinking about more than anything. When I'm done, I need to put them back on or they'll disappear. But yeah, I guess we'll leave it there until we get dry weather. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.